Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Writing Tutorials. Today, we're diving into a super practical topic: how to write an authorization letter. Authorization letters are incredibly useful when you need to give someone else permission to handle certain matters on your behalf. Maybe it's a financial account, a medical issue, or a property matter. This letter makes it all official and helps avoid misunderstandings. In today's video, I'll guide you through writing a sample authorization letter, explaining each part along the way so you'll know exactly what to include. So, let's jump right in. Starting with the header and date. First, let's talk about the header. The header should include the name and address of the company or organization you're dealing with. In our sample, I used Brightstar Banking Services as the example company name, along with an address: 789 Commerce Plaza, Cityville, State, zip code. This is the basic information for the company that will receive and accept the letter. You'll want to put it right at the top, left aligned. Think of it like saying, "Hey, this letter is specifically for you." Below the company details, add the date you're writing or sending the letter. Including the date is important because it helps establish a timeline for when the authorization takes effect. So, on paper, this should look like: Brightstar Banking Services, 789 Commerce Plaza, Cityville, State, zip code. Date, November 1st, 2023. The layout is clean, professional, and easy for the recipient to find essential details right away. Greeting and subject line. Next, we add the greeting and subject line. In our sample, I kept it simple with "to whom it may concern." Since you don't always know the exact person who'll read it, this general greeting works well. Following the greeting, add a subject line to make the purpose of the letter clear from the start. Here, our subject is "Authorization to act on my behalf for financial account management." The subject line is like a preview. Anyone reading this letter will instantly know it's about granting authorization. Introducing yourself and authorizing the other party. Now, let's get into the body of the letter, where we explain the main purpose. Start by introducing yourself and the person you're authorizing. Here's what it might look like. I, John A. Doe, hereby authorize Jane B. Smith to act on my behalf in all matters related to my financial accounts with Brightstar Banking Services. This simple statement clearly tells the reader who you are and who will be acting on your behalf. Using both full names keeps things professional and leaves no room for confusion about who's involved. In this line, you can also briefly describe what the person is authorized to do. In our example, I said, "in all matters related to my financial accounts." Feel free to adjust this to match your specific needs. If you want someone to handle specific tasks only, you can specify those here. Adding the authorized party's information. Next, include detailed information about the authorized person, their address, phone number, and email. This makes sure the company has a way to reach out directly to your representative if needed. Here's how it might look. Authorized party: Jane B. Smith, 123 Maple Street, Cityville, State, zip code. Phone, 555-123-4567. Email, jane.smith@email.com. Listing this information gives the letter a professional feel and ensures everyone knows exactly who is authorized to act. Account information. For added clarity, you'll also want to include your account information. This can be a single line like, account holder, John A. Doe, account number, 987654321. Adding the account number helps the company quickly locate your account and makes it clear this authorization is specific to that account. If you're authorizing someone to access multiple accounts, you might list each one here, too. Setting the duration of authorization. Now, we need to talk about the duration of the authorization, how long this person can act on your behalf. In the sample, I wrote, "This authorization will remain in effect from November 1st, 2023, to January 31st, 2024, unless revoked in writing by me before this date." Giving a clear start and end date is crucial, as it limits the time your representative has this power. If you want it to be indefinite, you could say, "until further notice," but setting a clear duration is often a safer approach. Adding a statement of confirmation. Next, include a statement confirming your intent to grant this authorization and accepting responsibility. For example, by signing below, I confirm that I have willingly and voluntarily granted Jane B. Smith the authority to perform the specified actions on my behalf. I also agree to hold Brightstar Banking Services harmless for any actions taken in good faith based on this authorization. This section acts as a safeguard for the company or organization, letting them know you're serious about granting permission and that you won't hold them responsible if things go as expected. It's also a way of affirming that your representative will be acting within your wishes. Closing the letter with signature and contact information. We're almost done. Now, end the letter with a polite closing like a sincerely, followed by a space for your signature. Here's how it might look: sincerely, signature. John A. Doe. 456, Oak Road. Cityville, State, Zip Code. Phone, 555-987-6543. Email, john.doe@email.com. Place your signature just below the closing, right after a sincerely, so it's clear that you're the one sending the letter. After that, add your printed name and contact details, in case the organization needs to reach out for any follow-up. Adding an acknowledgement for the authorized party. Finally, add an acknowledgement section for the person you're authorizing. This part is optional but can make the letter feel even more formal. Here's how it looks. Acknowledgement of authorized party. I, Jane B. Smith, acknowledge and accept the responsibilities as outlined above and agree to act in accordance with the authority granted by John A. Doe. Signature. Jane B. Smith. Date. This section is where your representative signs to accept the responsibility and confirms they understand the terms. It's a nice touch that shows everyone is on the same page. And that's it. With these sections in place, you'll have a clear, professional authorization letter. This structure covers everything from who's involved, what they're authorized to do, and how long they have that authority, to confirming everyone's understanding. Remember, an authorization letter is all about clarity, so take your time to include every detail. I hope this tutorial makes it easy to write your own authorization letter with confidence. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future tutorials. See you next time on Writing Tutorials.